It was supposed to be an ordinary winter afternoon in Vermont. Cold, silent, peaceful. But that silence would soon become the most terrifying sound of all. The locals had always whispered about something lurking in the deep woods of Glastonbury Mountain. Creatures, shadows, voices carried by the wind. They called this place the Bennington Triangle, a land that seemed alive and hungry. In 1945, an experienced 74-year-old guide named Mitty Rivers walked ahead of his hunting group, just a few feet in front of them. They could still hear his footsteps. Then, suddenly, they couldn't. No scream, no rustling, no struggle. He simply ceased to exist. Search teams combed every inch of the forest. They found nothing, not a jacket, not a rifle, not a footprint. As if the earth opened for 1 second, swallowed him, then closed again. And that was only the beginning. What happened to Mitty Rivers would open the gate to a series of disappearances so disturbing. It turned Glastonbury Mountain into America's own Bermuda Triangle. People would vanish in daylight, in front of witnesses, in open fields. And over the next 5 years, 5 souls would enter these woods, never to return. What dark presence lived here? A hidden predator? A supernatural force? Or something older, something that fed on fear itself? Whatever it was, its first victim was gone, and it was hungry for more. 1 year later, on December 1st, 1946, the Triangle took its next victim. Her name was Paula Jean Weldon, 18 years old, bright, curious, full of life. She wasn't the type of girl who vanished. She was the type who lit up every room she walked into. But that day, she walked into the forest. Instead, witnesses remembered her clearly, her bright red coat, almost glowing against the dark green of the Bennington woods. They watched her walk up the trail, confident, relaxed, unaware that she was walking straight into the jaws of something unimaginable. Paula never returned. Over 1,000 searchers combed the mountain. A helicopter hovered overhead. Bloodhounds tracked her scent, until the trail ended abruptly at a small bridge. No footprints beyond it. No signs of a fall. It was as if she evaporated into thin air. Her father refused to accept it. He spent the rest of his life searching for her, chasing every whisper, every rumor, every false lead. But the truth? No one ever found Paula Weldon, not even her red coat. And the mountain? It remained silent, almost proud. By 1949, fear had spread through Vermont like a cold fever, but the Triangle wasn't finished. On December 1st, James E. Tetford, a 68-year-old veteran, boarded a crowded bus heading home. Witnesses remembered seeing him sitting upright in his seat. But when the bus reached its final stop, he was gone. His luggage was still in the overhead rack. His bus schedule was neatly folded on his seat. But Tetford himself, he had vanished while surrounded by people in a moving vehicle. No one saw him stand. No one saw him walk. He simply wasn't there anymore. Investigators were baffled. How does a man disappear from a bus without being seen? Unless the same force that swallowed Paula and Mitty had followed him even into civilization, even into a crowded space. The Triangle wasn't a place anymore. It was a presence. In October 1950, 8-year-old Paul Jepson rode with his mother to the family farm. She left him in the truck for just a few minutes. When she returned, he was gone. Children wander. But this wasn't wandering. Bloodhounds tracked his scent deep into the woods, and then suddenly the trail stopped, as if the boy had been lifted straight into the air, just like Paula, just like Mitty, just like Tetford. Even more horrifying, Paul's father admitted that the boy had been drawn to the mountains recently, staring at them for long periods as if something was calling him, something he couldn't resist. Just 2 weeks after Paul vanished, the Bennington Triangle claimed its final known victim. On October 28, 1950, 53-year-old Frida Langer was hiking with her cousin near Somerset Reservoir. Frida was tough, experienced, and knew the woods better than most. But when she slipped into a shallow creek and soaked her clothes, she told her cousin she'd quickly return to camp, change, and meet him back on the trail. It was a short walk, a straight path. She never arrived. Search teams, aircraft, state police, and military units scoured every inch of ground nothing. It was as if she walked directly into a wall of nothingness. 7 months later, 7 months of silence, her body was found in an area that had been searched dozens of times. Her remains were too decomposed to determine a cause of death. No signs of an animal attack, no clear injuries, no explanation. Just a body returned by the mountain. When it decided the time was right, Frida's disappearance was different. She was the only one eventually found, but that only made the terror worse. Because if the mountain chose to bring her back, why did it keep the others? What was it saving them for? What did it want? Locals started speaking in softer voices. No one entered the woods alone. Houses near Glastonbury stood empty, abandoned by families who swore they heard cries in the night, young voices calling for help. The Triangle wasn't just a place anymore. It was a predator, and Frida was its final warning. By now, panic gripped Bennington, but something even more chilling became clear. Each disappearance followed a pattern. The victims varied in age, gender, and background, but every case shared disturbing similarities. All vanished in broad daylight, all disappeared near the same 500-square-mile region. No bodies, no clothing, no footprints, except Frida Langer. Even search dogs, normally relentless, stopped cold at invisible boundaries, refusing to continue as if something unseen stood in their way. Then came the folklore. Old Native American stories warned of a man-eating stone on Glastonbury Mountain, a place where anyone who stepped too close would be swallowed whole, lost forever. Other legends told of a shapeshifter, a creature that mimicked human voices to lure victims deeper into the forest. Some hikers reported hearing someone calling their name, even when they were completely alone. And then there were the lights, strange orbs drifting between the trees, seen by hunters long before the disappearances ever began. Maybe it was coincidence. Maybe it was something ancient, something the modern world had forgotten, but that the mountains remembered. Whatever the truth, the pattern was undeniable. 5 people gone, no answers, only fear, and the terrifying realization that the Triangle wasn't finished. Over the years, countless theories tried to explain what happened. Some believed a serial killer stalked the woods, a hunter with perfect knowledge of the terrain, taking victims quickly, quietly, efficiently. But serial killers don't make people vanish mid-hike. They don't take a man off a bus without anyone noticing. Others believed it was the government, secret experiments, radio towers, or hidden bunkers buried deep under the mountain. But that didn't explain Paula's red coat disappearing without a trace. Then came the supernatural theories. People spoke of portals, cracks between worlds that open and close at random, of infrasound, a low-frequency vibration known to cause panic, confusion, and disorientation, powerful enough to lure victims off trails and into danger, and some claimed the mountain itself was alive, that the forest chose who stayed and who left. The truth? No theory explains everything. And that's what makes the Bennington Triangle so terrifying. It isn't just a mystery. It's an unsolved wound, one that refuses to close. And it has kept people awake for decades, wondering, if a place can take 5 people in 5 years, what else is it capable of? Today, Glastonbury Mountain is quiet, too quiet. The towns around it are abandoned, reclaimed by nature. Houses stand empty, trails have faded, even the animals avoid certain parts of the forest. Hikers who dare to enter report unsettling sensations, being watched, followed, called. Some say the silence feels alive, like the woods are waiting for something, waiting for someone. And every year, new stories surface. People hearing footsteps behind them with no one there, voices whispering from deep in the trees, cold spots that linger even in summer. No one knows what happened to Mitty, Paula, Tetford, Paul, or Frida, but the forest does. And maybe that's enough, because the Bennington Triangle still stands, wide open, untouched, uncaring. A place where the world feels thinner, where the air feels heavier, where something ancient sleeps beneath the moss and roots, watching, listening, waiting. So if you ever find yourself near the shadow of Glastonbury Mountain, don't step off the trail, don't answer the voices. And whatever you do, don't walk alone.